We all want to be there for the people we care about. But let's be honest, sometimes knowing how to actually help can be the hardest part. So today, we're going to build a really simple but powerful framework that can totally transform the way you offer support. Let's dive in. We've all been there, right? You see a friend or someone in your family or even a colleague who's clearly struggling, and you want to reach out, you want to make a difference, but you're just stuck. You're not sure what to say or what to do. It's a totally universal feeling, and today we're going to get some real clarity on it. You see, truly effective help, it's so much more than just having good intentions. It's actually a skill, something that can be learned, and it's built on three main pillars: having a core skill, some ethical guardrails, and of course, the right mindset. If you can get a handle on these three, you'll have a complete toolkit for offering support that genuinely makes a difference. Okay, so let's start with the absolute foundation: listening. Now, I know it sounds simple, but there's a specific technique that can change everything. Because before you can even think about offering advice or solutions, you have to truly, deeply hear what the other person is trying to tell you. And that technique is called active listening. This isn't just, waiting for your turn to talk. It's about creating a space where someone feels completely and truly heard. That means giving them your full attention, letting them share their story, and this is the hard part, holding back on any judgment, blame, or criticism. So for instance, instead of saying, well, you should have done this, you might say something like, wow, it sounds like you're feeling really frustrated right now. See the difference? And the power of doing this, it's kind of remarkable. In fact, research shows that a staggering 50% of what makes professional counseling effective is simply the skill of listening. That's right, half the battle is just listening well. That's huge. So how do we actually do this active listening thing? Well, it really comes down to these four key actions you see here. First, you just pay attention, and that means noticing not just their words, but their body language too. Second, you encourage. You create a safe space for them to open up. Third, you work to really understand, to truly grasp their perspective. And then, and only then, as the fourth step, do you respond with care. All right, so now that we have the skill of listening down, we need to make sure we're using it in a way that's actually helpful and not harmful. And that's where our second pillar comes in, the ethical guardrails of providing safe support. I want you to think of ethics like the guardrails on a winding mountain road, right? They're there to keep both you and the person you're helping safe, especially when the conversation gets difficult or complicated. They are the standards that define right and wrong, and they are absolutely essential for building trust. And look, this isn't just some abstract idea we're talking about. Professionals in the field, they rely on these incredibly detailed codes of conduct, like this one from the American Counseling Association. It's literally a roadmap for how to navigate complex situations, making sure that help is always provided in a way that's safe, respectful, and effective. The first rule of ethical support is actually really simple: protect the person. This means you put their well-being first always. It means keeping what they share with you absolutely confidential, because trust is the bedrock of any real support. Their safety is priority number one. And the second rule is all about empowering the person. Your goal here isn't to be a savior, but to be a guide. You want to help them find their own strength, respect their right to make their own choices, and be honest about your own limitations. Real support builds people up. It doesn't create dependency. Okay, we've got the skill of listening, and we've got the ethical guardrails to keep us on track. So now, let's talk about the final and maybe the most important pillar, the mindset you bring to the whole conversation. Because beyond all the techniques and all the rules, genuine support really comes from a place of genuine character. There are so many qualities that make a great helper, but today we're going to zero in on three that are just absolutely essential: belief in others, open-mindedness, and self-work. First things first, you have to believe in the other person's potential. This isn't about you swooping in to save the day. It's about having this deep faith in their ability to grow and find their own solutions. This right here, this is the very foundation of empowerment. Next up, you need a genuine sense of open-mindedness. This goes hand in hand with active listening, doesn't it? If you're coming into the conversation with your own judgments already locked and loaded, you'll never, ever be able to truly hear what the other person is saying. And finally, it all starts with you. Think of it like a well. You can't give water to others if your own well is dry. When you have a solid sense of your own self-worth, you can offer support from a place of abundance, not from a place of need. So there we have it. We've covered the 3 essential pillars of effective support: that core skill of listening, the ethical guardrails, and of course, the right mindset. Now, let's put it all together. This is it. This is the formula for truly effective support: the practical skill of listening, the ethics to guide you, and the character and mindset to empower. When you bring these 3 things together, you're not just a helper anymore. You become a force for positive change. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a little challenge. The next time you're talking to a friend or a family member who's going through something tough, just try to put these principles into practice. Listen without judgment, respect their autonomy, and believe in their potential. You might just be surprised by the difference it makes. Thanks for watching.